So I'm finally back with another review, and this time it's for Shut In. No relation to the awful 2016 movie. Just to clear that out right now. I was planning to have this days ago. I did actually watch this during the premiere day, but I wasn't able to finish it. But then I was able to finish it the next day, so I probably should have had this out like 3 days ago. But I've been busy, so yeah, that's the reason why it's this so much later than my last review. So, and I've been planning a lot of other reviews. There's other movies I gotta watch for more reviews, so yeah, that's the reason why this one's coming late. But I'm finally reviewing it now. And this is of course a horror movie. It's not really much of a horror movie though, that's one thing I don't really understand. This is more like a thriller than it is a horror movie, even though I'm pretty sure it's being advertised as a horror movie. But whatever. The plot is a mother gets trapped inside her own pantry by her crazy ex-boyfriend or ex-husband, whatever he is, and she has to use her ingenuity to protect her kids from escalating danger, which not only includes the elements because their house is a piece of crap, and like it's raining, it's freezing outside, and a child molester who breaks into the house. Yes, really. Played by Vincent Gallo. And I found out this is his first movie in several years, like 7 or 8 years. Not quite sure. I'm not exactly sure what drew him to this, but still a good movie. This one is legitimately good. It's already the best one of the year so far, but that's not saying much because last month was January, and January is not exactly a stellar month for movies. Like, they've had some movies. January's had movies I really liked in the past. Kung Fu Panda 3, Maze Runner, The Death Cure. So January has had good films, but last month wasn't that stellar. It had a few okay ones, but it had also a couple shitty ones. So, yeah, but this one beats them all so far. I highly doubt this will be the best film of the year overall, since we got stuff like Doctor Strange coming up really soon, and I'm really looking forward to that with the new trailer out. But I'm getting off topic. I'll talk about Doctor Strange in a few months when it comes out. But we're talking about Shut In, and really, it's a good movie. All the technical aspects of this are pretty good. This is a pretty low budget movie, but it's done pretty well. The director is DJ Caruso, and I couldn't figure out why that name rang a bell. I saw the name, I've seen this name somewhere. This is the director of I Am Number 4. I got really nervous when I saw it. I Am Number 4 wasn't a terrible movie, but it wasn't a great one either. And he's directed other stuff that has been relatively either gotten mixed or negative reviews from not only critics, but audiences as well. Speaking of so, I know I've said in the past that Rotten Tomatoes and the critics are dumbasses. Especially with reviews from Eternals and that one review that I mentioned for Ice Age. But I do feel obligated to bring up, this movie has a 100% on Rotten Tomatoes out of 5 reviews. This has 100%, and then a 98% audience score with thousands of reviews. I think it was 5,000 already. And it's still at 98%. That's damn impressive. And is it warranted? I think so. Because again, it's not saying, oh, this is a perfect movie. It's saying all the people who saw it thought it was a good movie. And yeah, it is. But yeah, I despite what I said about the director a minute ago of how he's directed crap before, his directing is pretty good here. It's nothing special, but it's serviceable enough for the film. It's the shot composition, you can at least see what's happening. There's no shaky cam nonsense or any of Shyamalan's bullshit of cinematography pointing at some dude's ear or something. I still can't get over that. What was with that shot in Old? What the Shyamalan, different day to talk about Shyamalan. Where was I? Yes. The acting all across the board is pretty good. Right, Rainey Qualley does pretty good as the lead Jessica. Can't remember for the life of me who plays Rob, but he does really well in the role, and you can actually buy that. And you can really buy that he's just the problem is the drugs, really. and that becomes problematic later on. Vincent Gallo, again, not sure when I think he was like retired or something, but he came out of retirement to do this. Again, not sure what drew him to this one, but okay, and he's pretty good. My one gripe I have with the characters is her daughter is annoying as hell. Although, I will say, I know kids that age are pretty stupid. Like, they'll do stupid shit like this kid does, but it gets a little irritating when this kid does the exact opposite of what she's told sometimes. And especially in dangerous situations. Like, her mother yells at her, "Do not come down here." She goes down there anyway. It's like, oh. And not to mention, she's just annoying. She really is. And it's like, I don't know if the script just didn't really know how to write a 6-year-old, and I know 6-year-olds are pretty annoying. I have a brother who's 8, and he's kind of annoying. But, I don't know. I just think it was too much. It was just too much, was the problem. Would have been fine, but too much. So, the writing is pretty good. I think that the plot is definitely a unique one. I haven't really seen anything quite like this before. Because there's no, like, supernatural elements or anything like that, or any of that bullshit. It's just she's stuck in a room because her ex-boyfriend locked her in there and, like, put up wood to block the door. And she's having to try to help her kids without being able to help them. It's an interesting enough premise, and the movie isn't that long. It's like an hour 28. So it doesn't wear out its welcome. It's the same thing about Ice Age Adventures of Buck Wild, but again, that one didn't wear out its welcome, it just sucked. This one does not, although there is one weird thing about this movie, is that it kind of has 2 climaxes. It's odd. So, if you haven't seen the movie, this is spoiler territory, but if you haven't seen it, you're probably either not going to or not able to. Because it was premiered on YouTube and now it's on Daily Wire, so unless you have a subscription there, you're probably not going to be able to watch it, but I'm getting off track. So, this movie technically has 2 climaxes. One, where Vincent Gallo's character, Sammy, basically has her kids at knife point, and then Rob shows up to save them. I actually kind of figured he was going to show them. I'm like, okay, here comes Rob, and yes, he did. He came in with a gun, and I'm like, okay, they're trying to redeem this guy at least, but no, he goes back to the drugs, and honestly, that was a little annoying at first, but I realized, from what I've heard, this is kind of how addictions go. It's like, okay, he just keeps doing it. He's not gonna learn from it. It's like, and that's what I've seen a lot. So I'm like, okay, I'm with this. And then she has to basically fight Rob as well because she basically drugs him with the drug. She like injects something else into it. I don't remember what it was. And then she throws him out the window. Okay. But again, it's just odd that this movie has 2 climaxes. It's like after Rob kills Sammy, I thought the movie was about to wrap up, but there were still like 15 minutes left. I'm like, what the hell are you going to fit in 15 minutes? Oh. Yeah, it wasn't bad, it was just odd. And it kind of felt, and that was one point, like after she gets out of the pantry, the movie starts, that is one point where I feel like the movie was starting to wear off a bit. It was starting to wear out its welcome just a bit. It did pull itself out of that ditch, but it almost dug the hole a bit deep. It almost dug itself into a hole, but they managed to pull themselves out at the last second. So they got really close to doing that. But again, this one, there's not a ton to talk about with this movie because it's just good. I wasn't expecting it to be fantastic, but I also wasn't expecting it to be crap either, and I pretty much got exactly what I expected. So far, these 5 movies that come out this year, I've gotten pretty much exactly what I was expecting. Home Team, I expected to, from the trailer, I was like, okay, this is okay, but it's going to have some really stupid jokes to it. It's going to have some really bad stuff, and I'm like, yep, that's what happened. Road Treatment looked like a bland rom-com, a boring, bland, predictable rom-com. It just has 2 actors I happen to like, and yeah, it was a little better than I was anticipating, but it was about the same. Ice Age Adventures of Buck Wild, just another generic kids movie, bad animation. That's what I expected, and then there was Hotel Transylvania 4, which I knew was going to be crap, and it was even worse than I thought, so I've been pretty much on the money so far this year, and this one, yeah, pretty much the same. I expected it to be about as good as it was. So, and I do like how creative ways she tries to get out. there is some like religious undertones with this because there's a lot of portions showing close-up shots of the Bible and like a cross on the wall. And I'm like, okay, is this a Christian movie or I was like, is this a Christian movie? I don't like faith-based films because, you know, they suck. And that's kind of what they're hinting at here, but they don't really go overboard with it, which I do appreciate that they didn't go overboard with it. But it does get a little annoying at times. So, but yeah, that's all I got for Shut In. It's got, all the technical aspects of it are pretty good. There are just a couple of personal things that I had that I would have done differently. But overall, still a good film. I'm giving Shut In a B-. So, thank you all so much for watching. Are you going to watch Shut In? Like, are you even able to watch it? Because, again, you'd have to have a subscription to Daily Wire to watch it. And if you don't, then you probably can't watch it unless you pirate it. So, yeah, and I wouldn't recommend doing that. That's against the law. So, yeah, that's all I got. And now I have more movies to watch. So, see you in my other reviews.